The All Elite Wrestling roster are about to descend on the state of Washington and go to Seattle eventually, despite all the bad traffic, construction, and various other problems that come from even being around the vicinity of Seattle. I can say that because I live near Seattle. I've been to Seattle multiple goddamn times. It is a hell of a goddamn city, but an incredibly difficult one to navigate because of all the bullshit. But All Elite Wrestling, they will have Collision the night before their first ever pay-per-view to honor the memory of Antonio Inoki, so let's talk about that. I'm John Rentham with my AEW WrestleDream 2023 predictions. Let me know your predictions in the comments, please. But yes, Collision, WrestleDream, back-to-back at Climate Pledge Arena, the former Key Arena. I will be at both shows. Collision review, Sunday morning. WrestleDream review Monday morning, completely with a shot voice. I'm excited. Unfortunately, I do fear that the ticket sales will not be all that great, which is a shame because Dynamite on January 4th, the same day as Wrestle Kingdom, was actually pretty goddamn full. They didn't use the full arena, but what they used, they basically filled the goddamn thing. 9,500, 10,000 people. It was loud. It was raucous. I'm looking forward to the shows, but goddamn it, I wish that the ticket sales were better. So, that being said, after Dynamite, they had set up a couple more matches, finalized some things, and if they set up anything on Rampage or Collision, excuse me for not having the clairvoyance to see ahead. My time machine is in the wash, and other people's are in the repair shop. Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. If they want to give Ricky any confidence that maybe they'll feature him properly if his contract is coming up, I don't know. It seems like rumors and innuendo or innuendo is he could possibly, who knows? I just want Ricky to be happy and successful because he's a hell of a goddamn talent. Great promo, great in the ring. He needs to beat Wheeler Yuta, and that's basically just all I have to say right there. Nothing against Wheeler Yuta. I think the match will be fine. I think Ricky should have a decisive win. Hopefully he does. And goes on to compete for one of the many championships that they have. But Wheeler Yuta should do the job here because that's really what his role is. So, we get to Christian Cage versus Darby Allin, 2 out of 3 falls match for the TNT Championship. And after JR basically sat there and said a couple things and didn't really do much of anything because JR just looks like he's totally checked out, who can blame him? So the idea is Christian Cage may not have Luchasaurus at ringside. Sting will not be in Darby Allin's corner, or maybe he should be backstage. I like to see Sting one more time. It would be kind of cool. Because he showed up at the end of Dynamite. That was really, really cool to see Sting in person. Maybe they have Nick Wayne turn. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to go feel good here because Christian, I really think what they're going to do is if they got Edge, a.k.a. Adam Copeland, to sign, I think they're going to have Christian and, Edge or whatever name he's going to go by, probably Adam Copeland. Maybe Damon Stryker, or whatever other name he used on the goddamn indies. They're going to have them go after FTR's Tag Team Championship, possibly, maybe. I have Darby winning because I think they want to go with a feel-good moment here. And in all honesty, as much as I love Christian, I don't think that there's much more they can wring out of this TNT deal. And then you could have Darby face off against it. You could have him face off against Luchasaurus again. You could have Luchasaurus and Christian have a blow off at Full Gear. You could do a lot of things. I just don't think the Christian needs to have the championship. So that's all I say. Darby wins unless they just go with goofy shenanigans like Nick Wayne turning for some reason. Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart for the AEW TBS Championship. It's not that I don't think that Julia Hart can win. It's just that I think it is more likely that the planet will split in two like we were watching Man of Steel. Wait, they attempted to split the planet in two and didn't. Nevertheless, Chris Statlander is going to win. I think the match will be fine. Only one women's match on the entire pay-per-view, but then again, I don't have to see Saraya, Defender of Abuserverse in person, so I'm happy about that. Though they really should have had 1 or 2 more women's matches. Maybe they'll do that on 0 Hour, just to cement the fact that nobody cares about the women's division, at least in management, at that place. Statlander will win. So the Bucks, the Guns, the Lucha Bros, Orange Cassidy, and Hook, a.k.a. the Orange Hookers, as it were. That's when they tan too much or bathe in Cheeto dust. So the winning team here can get an AEW tag title shot at any time, like a cash-in thing or something. I had the Bucks cashing in on FTR a little bit after this during the show, but you know what? I think we might actually get Orange Cassidy and Hook going for it, and then FTR finds a way to win there. Because what else can the Bucks could win, but I don't really know if them winning the tag titles is necessarily the way to go. So hell, they could fucking do it. Waffled a bit back and forth on this. You know what? Have the Bucks do it. Have the Bucks do one more job, and then they go somewhere. They just go off and do another program. I mean, any team really could win this goddamn thing. They could have the Bang Bang Gang win. Who knows? Bucks. Fuck. I'll just pick the Bucks. I honestly really don't care much about this match. I think it's just going to be a mess. It is what it is. MJF and Cole. Oh, wait. Adam Cole, baby, has an ankle injury. So, MJF's going to take on the Righteous by himself to defend the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Now. You had a bunch of people in Devil Mask beat up Jay White Toast backstage, and one just in a devil mask because everybody else was hooded, stared at the camera. Now, some said that was Edge. I don't think it's Edge. I don't think it's Edge yet. I mean, he ain't gonna show up in this. Kyle O'Reilly, he had neck surgery. Maybe they're alluding to his return because he's close to returning, but he returns. And he is the partner for MJF because of the association with Adam Cole. Adam Cole called in a favor. Watch that be the case. Because honestly, if they debuted Adam Copeland instead of having Adam Cole there, that would be a little bit weird. MJF and Copeland, that'd be very odd. I think Kyle O'Reilly making a return, or they have MJF somehow beat the Righteous 2-on-1. He keeps the tag titles for just a little bit longer, but then gets more exhausted until he faces Jay White and hopefully beats him because Jay White should not be a world champion. Not in AEW, sorry. Eddie Kingston versus Shibata. Hot Fresh Shibata. Thank you, Derb. Thank you, Derb, for that. For the Ring of Honor World and the Strong Openweight Championships, I believe Shibata is also the pure champion, so they're not going to go with that. It's not all titles on the line. We're not going to get Eddie strapped up with everything, as hilarious as that would be. Not that Eddie doesn't deserve the success. It would just be hilarious to see him try to create the Ultimo Dragon picture. I have Eddie Kingston winning. Shibata seems to be enjoying himself in AEW / Ring of Honor. And it's nice. It's nice that the man that had his brain taken out and had a new one put back in. And yeah, Meltzer deserves to be endlessly mocked for that shit again and again and again. That being said, Eddie Kingston will win, and it'll probably be a pretty good match. FTR versus Aussie Open AEW World Tag Titles. Now, I had FTR winning and then the Bucks cashing in, but you know what? It's entirely possible Aussie Open wins, and then FTR, just go off somewhere, have that dream match with Christian Cage and not Edge. And then the Bucks cash in on Aussie Open. I do have the Bucks doing something where they cash this in just that night, just to kind of cement the fact that the tag division is theirs to run, basically. So let's have FTR win. If Aussie Open wins, it'd be cool. But I think FTR is doing some of the best work of their career after they did some of the best work of their careers last year. So there you go. Will the Bucks cash in? Let me know. So Jericho, Omega, Ibushi taking on the Don Callis family, Takeshita, Ospreay, and Sammy. Now, Sammy just freshly turned, and they're going to find a way to beat. I think they're going to pin Jericho. Now, they can end up pinning Omega because Omega was so concerned about Ibushi, despite that terrible segment that they did the night, or, on the Dynamite, where, they attacked him at his dojo. It looked really, really goddamn fake and phony. And I hate using that, but that's how it looked. I think that what's going to happen is Sammy is going to end up pinning Jericho here. It's going to be in a 6-man. And then you build up to a match of Full Gear, because they're only, 7 weeks away. You could nurse this thing along a little bit, maybe not be so hot-shotty. And since they are apparently going to start doing even more pay-per-views in January, unless they have a deal with HBO Max, they're going to have severely low buy rates. So they better try to pump up. Full Gear is pretty much their last pay-per-view that's going to get any kind of halfway decent buy rate. And I think Jericho against Sammy in a grudge match, building along with it, would be the way to go. But Jericho would unfortunately end up winning. So I think Sammy's going to get the pin. Here is my point. Hangman versus Swerve. Swerve is going to get a massive pop. A massive fucking pop. Even though he's from Tacoma, not Seattle. Or at least he hails from Tacoma. Now, I have Swerve winning, but I fear that they could actually have Hangman win, which would get a chorus of boos, a lot of boos. No, I'm not talking about the drinking kind, I'm talking about the noise. I think Swerve is going to get the victory here. There's shenanigans, Mogul Embassy, whatever. He is going to find a way to get the victory. And then you have a match on television a little bit later. Swerve really should get a championship at some point. A credible championship. And hopefully he does. So I got Swerve winning. And then Danielson versus ZSJ. Technical dream match. And Danielson could beat Zack Sabre Jr. and should. Now, that's nothing against Zack Sabre Jr. Unless they want to build this to a rematch at Wrestle Kingdom, even though I think Danielson versus Okada at Wrestle Kingdom is the way they're going to go. I have him beating ZSJ. And then you could have the show in November, I think is what they're having. If I recall correctly, they have some, it's Power Struggle or something that they have, in early November. And you have Zack Sabre Jr. beat Danielson there, and the crowd would really, really pop. I have Danielson winning here. I think it's going to be a big hometown reaction. Whatever size crowd is there is going to be cheering their hearts out for Danielson, like we did when Dynamite happened on January 4th. So that's it. That's all I got to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethlin, super excited for Collision and WrestleDream back-to-back. A lot of work, a lot of wrestling. A lot of live wrestling. Good times. See you soon.